A perfect summer evening in the hills of Vista, California, as we find ourselves for the second year in a row in Elliott Sloan's backyard that he has dubbed the Sloan Yard, as it plays host to XGames 2023 and the return of Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. Welcome everyone, Jimmy Coleman here alongside a returning legend, longtime vert skater and one of the original skaters of the Mega Ramp, talking about none other than Mr. Jason Ellis making his return to the X Games. When we talk about Skateboard MegaPark, you got to talk about Edward Damastoy. He's coming off a vert gold medal in X Games Japan, and he won this thing last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a ball of fire, that guy, and he's like one of the most powerful skateboarders just on a normal vert ramp. And then if you bring it up to the Mega, you're going faster than anyone's gone on a skateboard. You're going bigger than anyone's ever gone on a skateboard. And this guy is really good at doing that and has a look in his eyes. I'm not saying everyone else doesn't have the look of a killer as well, but he looks like a shark circling this Mega Ramp like it's like an injured turtle, and he's gonna take this thing out. So my money's on this guy, but obviously Elliott, it's his home.
Yeah, we have to talk about Elliott as well. He came out of this last year with a gold medal in vert best trick. He had to settle for silver here last year. He's looking for redemption. I mean, after all, this is home turf. It's his backyard.
His home turf has a leak. The pipes are cracking, and he's got a lot of bills, and it's on his mind. So I'm a little worried about this whole plumbing thing on the same day as the contest.
So those are two of our top standouts right now. Let's go up to the top of the ramp. Let's check in with the third member of our team, Mike Rooftop Escamilla.
Thanks, guys. Elliott, what do your neighbors think of all this?
You know, the neighbors are pretty cool. We've gotten pretty lucky. Haven't really had any too many complaints over the years. Maybe like one or two when we first started building all this stuff. But you know, big shout out to all the neighbors. They've definitely been really cool.
Having an event at your house, do you at all feel like you have a home court advantage?
No, I mean everyone out here is ripping. I'd say maybe the only home court advantage is I have an ice bath here, and so I'm like the only one that uses that. I jumped in there earlier, and that's about it.
Well, I think that doesn't feel like that, but let's back to Jason and Jimmy.
Well, you know, after you run, you can just go stroll up the hill and go hop in the pool right there. So here at Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark, we talked about two standouts. However, there are 6 other skaters in the field that are going to have something to say about it. Mr. Ellis, talk about a couple other standouts that you see on that list.
Mitchy Brusco is somebody that can do any trick, and I mean he's the guy that's has done the 1260. He can do 900s on a whim. I've seen him at the Vert Alert do a 900 with no practice, no spin beforehand. Just they called his name, and I saw it on his face, and he did a 900 like he'd been practicing them all day. So I wouldn't be surprised that guy does something like that in today's contest.
Well, you're going to have to link it all up as we take a look at our first competitor here. This is Trey Wood getting it started.
Backflip, boning it out. Gigantic. Is that a backside 5? And then this kickflip melon. I don't know how the judges go when it comes to originality, but I would give him extra for that because that is something new and very difficult to land consistently and to make speed happen after you land that, because he's got another wall.
I mean, you're looking at that and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go for some innovation points right out of the gate. I would have thought that might have come out a little bit later on, but going for it here in the first attempt. It is a 30-minute jam session, by the way, if you're looking at that clock next to the Monster Energy logo and you're wondering what that's all about. It's a 30-minute jam session.
Look at that backflip, nose boned out, and there it is, the giant backside 540. People don't realize how high, like when you get past 15 feet, you kind of don't know where you're going to land for about half a second until you're on your way back in. And these guys upside down with that mystery, it's nerve-wracking.
So he's going to check in down to the 30s right there. The best possible run score you can get is 100. It is the best run that counts out here. So Trey going to have to look to round number 2 as we take a look at Brazil's Ronnie Gomez for the first time out.
Switchbacks at 180 over the gap, making it look easy. These guys.
Oh!
Alley-oop tail grab 540, gigantic, made a little bit of a... He tried to make a bit of a foot adjustment before he went for that, and I think that threw him off. But he's got another ride. He's got plenty of rides. He's one of those guys that came from the Bob Burnquist camp that could keep up with Bob Burnquist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
like
crazy ollie combos and what. I mean, the height right there was nothing to snub your nose at either. They're 8'9" right there. We'll get another look at it right here.
That is a gigantic tail grab 540.
Just puts that down right there at the top of the vert. He had to settle for 5th in this event last year. So again, it is a jam session. They're going to run in the order that we showed you on that start list. It is the best run that counts, and the judges are working off of a 100-point scale, and you've really got to link it all up. And I mean, you've got to have 4 big heaters in a row if you're going to find yourself on that podium. And talk about some of the criteria that they're going to be going over there, Jason.
I mean, to me, it's because as a guy that used to do it, it was 2 walls. Now it's 4. And there's an adrenaline dump when you do the second wall. And to know that these guys are halfway through after the quarter pipe, I don't know how they contain it.
So as we take a look at the youngest member in the field, 14-year-old Key Curry with an Indy 7 to start it off.
900 alley-oop, and boy does he make that look easy, but it is not. 360 flip Indy.
What's he going to end with?
Buddy Verily, 900. You got to be joking. You just off the bat.
First run, and he puts that down?
Yeah, you know, this guy it's unfair, really. When you're that old, like, he doesn't even know who I am. It's just ridiculous.
Was he even alive when
no. I know when I was good, he was not even thinking about being born. That's how old I am. But
I'm not good at math, but that had to be before his time.
Look at that 900. Like, the way he lands, it's perfect. So's that. Everything was executed perfectly.
Right past the knuckle, and then,
And then a Buddy Verrill 900, which I believe that is entirely his trick. That's all him.
We're only 5 minutes into this thing, and that's going to net him an 88. Remember, it's a 100-point scale right there, so that's going to put him in the top spot right there with an 88 flat. But how about that for the 14-year-old? First run out, just like, I'm just going to go ahead and put this run down.
He put the pressure on all the old guys, as in 20 to 30-year-olds.
I was going to say, they're not that old. The 2 elder statesmen in the group, you're looking at 31 and 32. As we take our first look at Mitchie Brusco.
Indy 7. Mitchie ain't playing. He's going for it. Backside 9. Wow.
Feet come off of that one.
This is the guy that can do a 900 without practicing a 900. It's a strange person. It's the mental thing that Mitchie Brusco has. He's done it 1,000 times in his head. He shows up and he does it. I mean, that one, unlucky, but he will do that.
So tough break right there for Mitchie, so he's going to have to look to the next round. We may get 5 rounds of runs. We'll have to see. We got 4 earlier with BMX MegaPark. We'll see how this one unfolds. Before we get to our next skater, let's learn a little bit more about him in this X Games profile, talking about Tom Schaar.
I think my favorite moment is the Bob run from like 2001, I think, where he just did everything.
Bob Burnquist, he needs a 95.5 to overtake first.
Bucky had like a 96 before Bob dropped in, and then Bob was just like, hold on, watch this, and just did every trick that you could think of.
Into the switch mode. We have lost our minds.
I think my favorite was probably just the first X Games I did. I was so young and I didn't really know what was going on, but it was really cool just to be a part of it. And I don't know, that's kind of what started my X Games career.
And what a crazy night that was back in Philadelphia with that vert run by Bob Burnquist he was referencing right there. I mean, that one goes back a ways in the history books here, and so does this gentleman. He did not get to compete in this event last year because he was injured in a snowboarding accident that happened in January that year. It took him out for 7 months. This is Tom Schaar.
Tail grab 7 makes it look easy. Gigantic alley-oop backside 5, setting it up. 360 kickflip. Oh,
no.
Man.
Did you see the hang time on the 5? I mean, you just suspended in time on that one.
It's unfortunate, but because if he makes that ride, then he has so many other things that he can do.
It takes the pressure off there in that first round of runs, and then you can just kind of build on that. As I mentioned, that injury, he had a left shoulder separation and a broken collarbone back in January last year. It required 2 surgeries. And he missed X Games Chiba last year, as well as this event here.
How big that 540 is. Oh, man. That's so crazy.
And then to have that happen, I mean, it's absolutely unfortunate, but you won't see that happen again as he makes the walk back up to the top right there.
Hopefully Elliot can block out the plumbing. I talked to him earlier today, and it was in his head, and I was like, you need to get that out of your head.
Wow. Not on the first go right there. As the tail grab attempt is going to get away from him right there.
Tail grab 7 attempt. I feel like sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself for the quarter pipe and forget about the gap.
Well, as I mentioned at the
Happens
top,
to the best of us.
he got a vert best trick gold here last year. He had to settle for silver here in MegaPark. And X Games Japan, he got another vert best trick gold. But it was this gentleman right here, Edward Domostoy, who walked out of here with a gold medal last year. We'll see what he can do. He gets to skate last in the run order here in 2023 at Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark here at the Sloan Yard.
He's got a look in his eyes, Jimmy.
I mean, you called him out on it.
I'm just saying, he said hello to me and it wasn't.
It was the steely-eyed stare.
Oh, what a recovery. Squatting on the Indy 7 into it. Oh, how? Oh, kickflip Indy 3 out of frontside rodeo. Yes! Yeah, dude!
First.
Woo!
Did you see? Okay.
Oh,
When you see the 5
he's
on the first
squatting
quarter
the 7.
with the hand drag,
Dude!
oh my goodness. Jason Ellis has left the building. He's tossed the headset down to go give Edward Domostoy a hug after that one. Watch right here. The Indy 7 puts it down, squats, the hand drag. Look at where he is in the last part of the rotation right there. And then at the end just says, you know what? I'm going to go with this frontside rodeo touching 540.
He got barreled.
What's it going to be on the score? Remember, best possible score he can get is 100, and he checks into the 90s on his first run with a 91.66. We've completed 1 round of runs. Plenty more to come when we return to Elliott Sloan's Sloan Yard. Welcome back, everyone. X Games 2023 here at Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. We have gone through the entire run order here, completed 1 round of runs, and at the end of that round, it's your defending gold medalist, Edward Domostoy, sitting in the top spot. Before we get into round number 2, let's check in with Rooftop, who's with our current leader.
Wow, first run, stomped, putting you in the first spot. How's that feeling? What does that mean for the rest of your runs?
That feels good. It's the first release through the contest. I wanted to do this run to begin the contest. Did it first try, so I'm very happy. And maintenant, keep, sorry, I was just speak French. Now, keep on pushing and have more to come, and hope it's gonna go down too. That's the plan.
Well, I can't wait to see more. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I have no earthly idea where it goes from here, but
I
to
do.
get that one out of the way right out of the gate, I mean, that was absolutely huge. As we get back to the top of Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. This is far from over. You got Guy Curry sitting in that number 2 spot and Tom Scharf sitting in 3rd as of right now as we take our second look here at Trey Wood. He had a little bit of a rough go there. It's got him sitting in 5th for now after round 1.
Nose bone in the backflip. Backs up 5.
Does he go for that same line again?
Kickflip Mallet's got,
I thought it was the one. I thought he was pulling that one.
I think the foot got in the way a little bit there.
But again, I mean, interesting selection right there. Trying to take a different approach at that.
He did it 3 times in a row
in
right
practice.
before the contest started.
Yeah.
So I kind of back him. I feel like he does have it. It was just an unlucky catch. It's what happens when you do flip tricks.
I like the way that he bones that out
It's
on the
really
flip
stylish,
right there.
yeah.
It looks great. It's right there. I think the 3rd time's going to be the charm right there. It's going to bump the score up a little bit. He was in the 30s, so he ends up with a 40 flat. So Guy Curry had to settle for 1 spot outside of the podium last year. He finished in 4th. He finds himself in a silver medal position after what he put down in round 1.
Indy 720, making it look easy, but it's still not. And then, stepping off on the 900. You know, that made the 900 look difficult. Because the one he did before made it look easy, and I can assure you,
Too
not.
easy.
Yeah, that's a good technique. The next ride, when he makes that, it's going to seem like that was way more difficult. Because you're right, he makes it look too easy.
So a lot of time left here. 20 minutes left on the jam session clock. Again, they do skate in the order that we showed you at the top of the show. If time does run out in the middle of a round, we finish it out so everybody gets the same amount of runs. So we bring back in Mitchie Brusco. He's got 13 medals from 16 different X Games appearances.
Okay, so Mitchie tried a 900. Oh, fell off on the 720, Indy 720.
He's kind of corking that one out. That just gets away from it the last second right there. So, again, he's down there at the bottom of the pack in 7th.
It's just
As
so
of
much
right now.
pressure to
So your top two right now, a 91.66 and an 88 flat. Those are the two best scores we've seen thus far here at Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. Tom Shar sitting in that number 3 spot right now, looking to toss out that score of 48 with the tail grab. Oh, man.
Solid on this one. Here we go. Sets up with the Melon 5. Oh, no. Under flipping on the 360 flip, 360 Indy, if that makes any sense. Everybody's spinning and everybody's flipping at the same time.
I mean, again, the hang time on that quarter pipe is absolutely insane. And even with that 48, I mean, it's got him in that number 3 spot as of right now. I'm sure as we get deeper into the run order here. Last year's silver medalist and our host, Elliott Sloan, due up next. But first, let's learn more about him in this X Games profile.
I guess I've just been doing the same thing that I always do to get ready for X Games, just skating a lot. I'm definitely excited to have it back in my house. I got second last year. I was trying to make this run at the end where I did a tail grab 7, alley-oop lean air, tail grab 5 to fakie, cab heel flip 7 on the last quarter. And halfway through, like I caught it and I just was like, oh, like I did it, you know? Before I even like saw the landing, I just caught it and it just felt good. And I don't know, my legs just kind of gave out. Like looking back, like watching the footage, I still don't know why that happened. Like definitely looking forward to like, you know, getting a second chance to make it happen.
So Elliott Sloan here for attempt number 2. And again, just trying to shake off the mindset of what's been going on here in his backyard.
Oh,
no, he needs to jump off on the first.
Don't get stressed,
trick.
Elliott. Yeah, he when he landed, there was a bit of a 4-wheel slide, and obviously, I think he might have stepped off right before he got to the impact zone. Because if you come off and you're committed, that's going to end your day. So I think that it was the right decision, but it's got to be frustrating. I see it getting on his nerves a little bit, but he's a professional. He's been in this position before.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him come down to the last run for him time and time again. Still lots of time left on the clock. We're just under 18 minutes left to go here. Remember, it is the best run that counts. So if you're watching at home, keep that in mind as we roll through this out here today at Monster Energy Skate MegaPark. Edouard Domistoy, your winner in 2022, finds himself in the top spot here by virtue of a monster run that he put down, pun intended, in the first round there with a 91.6. That was some inadvertent.
Yeah, no, it was well done.
I didn't even mean
Monster's going to be very happy. Dingo's pleased. Everybody kicked a goal.
Trying to tick that box right there. So.
I heard that he's doing something on the 4th, the final wall. If he makes this, that could change the game. Sticks the Indy 7, makes it look easy. Kickflip Indy 540, lands it with command. Indy kickflip Indy 360. Here we go.
Okay, into the last quarter.
Indy 900. Oh! Wow. That's only 2, you guys. He's going to get that. That is, if he does that, that makes it really difficult for everybody else to get that goal.
Lights out, you're calling it on that?
Dude, can you do a kickflip Indy 540 and a 900 and a 720? Like, there's just too many things involved that make it hard to beat that.
It was almost a hand drag again on that 7. It still forced his way to that kickflip Indy 5. And
Yeah.
that one looked a little bit bigger. I have to go back and look at the height stats.
Well,
that would
he's
look bigger
crying.
than the one he did in run number 1.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, if he makes that in round 3, oh.
He's a warlord. An absolute warlord.
We've completed 2 rounds. Still plenty more time left on that jam session clock.
look at
We'll
that.
have more Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark when we come back to Sloan Yard. Welcome back, everyone, to Elliott Sloan Yard here for X Games 2023 and Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. We have completed 2 rounds of runs. It's Edouard Domistoy sitting in the top spot as of right now. Jimmy Coleman here in the booth alongside Jason Ellis. We got Mike Escamilla on the field, and we have a 4th member of our team now. Special guest in the booth, Amelia Brodka. Amelia, welcome out here to Skateboard MegaPark. You're going to be in the booth when we move up to Ventura later on in the week. But thanks for joining us out here for MegaPark.
Thanks for having me. This is so fun to watch in person. I really wish there was a crowd here today because they would be losing their minds. And it's just been exciting to see. We've already had 9 variations. We've had some 7s. We've had some full pulls. I think it's just going to keep getting better.
Well, the neighbors are actually losing their minds. They're all out on their decks out there. They're grilling. They're hanging out. They get the bird's eye view. Plus, you've got a who's who of industry peeps out here in the skateboard world hanging out, watching the action go down. But we go back up to the top of the order for round 3. Can Trey Wood put it down here in run 3?
Love that backflip. Grabbing behind the knee and everything, tweaking it out.
Here it is. Can he make it? He's got it.
There it was. Third
Kickflip
time
Allen over
was
the
the
gap.
charm.
Kickflip body jump. Man, sick combination.
Going back to what you said earlier, it was another one. I watched him do that a couple of times in practice and then can't get it done here when he counted.
Really?
Kickflip body jar would be insane. I want to see that.
Yeah, especially on that quarter pipe. It's a heavier hit on that tail for sure.
I love that he takes the road less traveled by here.
Yeah,
I agree.
I hope the judges score that accordingly.
I think they appreciate it, you know? That's a new approach
It is.
as well, because they just built in that new roll-in section there.
And
So
it's pretty scary to watch somebody do a trick on the quarter pipe and not go over to the other side. It's like, where are you going?
That'll get him up into a bronze medal spot for now. He was down there with a 40 and some change, and now that puts him in the 60s. So that 60.66, that'll move him up into the number 3 spot. He'll overtake Tom Shar, who slides out to that number 4 spot as we take a look at Ronnie Gomez for attempt 3. Oh,
wow.
Man.
Going in on that switch is absolutely terrifying just to think about.
Yeah, agreed. I thought about it once. That was as close as I got.
Yeah, I mean, it's so narrow, and it's really high up off the ground. So if you don't make that gap for some reason, you've got a long way down.
So working our way down towards the 15-minute mark. Remember, it is the best run that counts. Italo Penarubia due up next. He's down there in that number 6 spot, kind of down there in the bottom of the pack with 35.66. Remember, he walked out of this event last year with a bronze medal, and in practice before we came on air, he was just sending it on that quarter pipe. This is the first quarter pipe, if you will.
There he goes. Kickflip body varial. 3 makes it. Big fronts of there. Monster fronts of there.
Oh, no
Backside
grab
3.
on that back 3.
Big stomps the backside 540. Solid ride. That's going to do really well because no one's really making rides right now, so he's sitting pretty.
I was going to say, that was pretty interesting strategy right there because he saw what's been going on so far. I was like, you know what, I just got to get out of the 35s right now because, I mean, you only need to get into the 40s to get up into the top 4 or 5 spots, and then after that, it's only a 60.66 to get into podium contention at this point.
It's a good idea.
And not grabbing your board on that 3, that's always so challenging because a lot can go wrong. If a little bit of wind blows your way, that board is flying away from you.
Powerful backside 540.
Last year, Italo snuck in on the podium last minute, kept us all waiting, and he just put together an incredible run.
Yeah.
So we know he's got more in store for us.
It literally came down to run 6 for him. It was literally his last run that put him on the podium. And guess what? 75 flat right now, so he'll overtake Trey. So that puts him back into that bronze medal position where he left off in 2022 as we bring back in Geek Curry.
7.
Solid on that. Going for the 9.
And spins late. That was like, it got faster as it progressed. 360 flip in, he makes it again. What can he do after the body varial 9? Kick flip body varial 540. You could do that, yeah.
That was a solid run from Guy. Putting it together. I can't believe his safety run had multiple 9s in it. It's
scary, isn't it?
Incredible. He's really pushing the limits out here.
I want to see another look at that 9 too, because it, like what Jason said, it was kind of a weird spin. Like it spun faster as he got later into the rotation right there. Maybe it was just the camera angle.
It's
Take
just
another look.
It's the control that he has on that 9. You can tell he just made a little. Because he alley-oops it too.
Yeah. And he even landed a little back seat out of that
So
Indy
perfect.
7 as well. Like you saw him kind of lurch back a second, then it reset to go into that.
It's crazy to see the progression. People landing 900s like we used to land 540s. You can see it. It's not hard to him.
I mean, his throwaway score right there would still be good enough for a silver medal at this point. Again,
That's
let's
crazy.
talk about the judging criteria, what those guys are looking for in the booth. Break that down for the fans watching at home.
So originality, so who's bringing something new to the table? I mean, we're only seeing alley-oop 9s out of Guy right now, and he did the body varial 9. That's certainly unique. And we saw Trey Wood doing the kickflip gap, and then, you know, putting together 4 solid tricks on the board. There's no throwaway tricks here. You've only got 4 chances.
Okay, here we go. Mitchie Brusco looking for that 900. First, he has to do the Indy 7, and he does it. Here he goes. Looks good.
Yes.
Down.
Getting it.
2 down, 2 to
Come
go.
on, Mitchie.
Let's
Backside
go.
3, setting it up.
One
Come
more
on,
wall,
buddy.
Mitchie.
Going for it. Oh!
The last wall, it gets away from right there. But it's there, the building blocks. It's a little snippet as to what you could potentially see out of Mitchie Brusco with 12.5, just under 12.5 minutes left to go here.
Speaking of 12, this is the man who brought you the 1260. That was just so incredible to see, and you know he's going to dig deep and bring us something amazing today.
I think him making this backside 9, man, that needs
So
to be
good.
scored. That was way bigger than anything anyone's done on the quarter pipe. And trust me, going high on that quarter pipe, that's where you get separated from men and boy. Because an extra 5 foot on something on that quarter pipe changes everything. And Mitchie was in that range where it gets as dangerous as it can get on a skateboard.
So 3 more skaters to go in the lineup here. Just under 12 minutes to go at Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. Tom Shard in for attempt number 3.
Wow, he just saved that tail grab 7.
Got it.
Oh, yes, come on, Tom, come on.
Here we go.
One more.
Yeah!
All right, the Tom Shark.
There we go. That's going to change things.
Gosh.
Looking to eclipse that 48
So
flat
That's gonna
right
do
there.
it.
That's got him in 6. You just need a 75 or better right now to jump into podium contention. That's Italo Penarubia sitting in that spot. So now the judges have a conversation on their hands.
Seriously, the Tom Shark comeback is here, and it's coming in strong. I'm here for it.
Monster boned out the tail 720. Look at that giant backside 540 pumping. When he lands, he pumps so hard for this next trick.
All right, now we wait for it here. What is it going to be? Remember, it's a 100-point scale, so an 85.33. So that will put him into the medal spots. That's good enough for the bronze medal spot for now. So Italo will slide down to the number 4 spot. So it's Domastoy, Curry, Shar, your 1, 2, 3 with just under 11 minutes to go. We bring in Elliott Sloan.
Come on, Dave.
Oh, no, Elliott, come on. We know
But
he's got this.
Don't fold. It's okay.
He's always just keeping us on the edge of our seats. He's
He
gonna
likes that
land it.
drama.
Hey,
He's
man,
gonna land it at
first
the end.
ride, last ride, like in
Yeah.
your headspace, there's no difference.
Yeah.
You know, like if I made no rides or I made all 5, my last ride, if I'm trying to beat Eddie with what he just did, doesn't make a difference. You got to go for everything.
That's a really good point. And I mean, obviously he knows this ramp better than anyone else. He knows what he can do. He knows what he's been planning. I'm sure he's put it down tons of times.
Right.
I'm sure we're going to see it.
I mean, we've seen him in those pressure situations time and time again, and he has to. I mean, he just delivered in Japan. I mean, it was a different event. It was vert best trick, but still, it came down to that last run, and he got another gold medal out of that. So he has the tools. He has the skills to do it. As you said, Amelia, this is his backyard, so nobody knows this ramp better than him, but it's that gentleman right there, the Frenchman, Edouard Domastoy, sitting in that top spot as of now.
I am nervous right now. Just
Oh, gosh.
A weird
Just
slip
little
up there.
back seat landing that, just trying to get away with it, but his body weight was not where it needed to be.
well, that was. Where's your 900?
Oh, I'm going to go do it right now.
Good. I look forward to that. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Well, thanks for
Yeah.
joining us in the booth here for round 3. We'll look forward to seeing you in Ventura.
See
the
you out
short
there.
drive
Thank you.
up the old Ventura Highway. We'll have more from Elliott Sloan Yard when we return. Welcome back, everyone, to Vista, California here. X Games 2023, Elliott Sloan's backyard here for Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. We have completed 3 rounds of runs thus far. Still some time left on that jam session clock. It is the best run that counts, but as of right now, it's defending gold medalist Edouard Domastoy sitting in the top spot. The young gun, Geek Curry, looking at a silver medal as of right now. And then that last round of runs, Tom Shar puts himself in that number 3 position. Still lots of skating still to come, but right now, before we get to round 4, let's check in once again with Mike Escamilla.
Guy, the youngest kid here, back-to-back 9, sitting in the 2nd spot. Where do you go from here?
I don't know. I think the public and the fellow skaters wants me to do the kickflip 900, and like they say, give the audience what they want. So I'm gonna try some tricks like that, and yeah.
Well, on this one, I will gladly be the audience for that. Good luck, man.
Thank you so much.
I like how he
Did he just
threw
say that?
He said, the public and give the audience what they want. Somebody's been to media training in the last year and a half.
I didn't even know the audience could have that. But yeah.
Maybe somebody out there is like holding up cards and they're calling out, they're calling out requests. I don't know, but a little snippet into the mind of that young man as we take a look at Trey Wood here in attempt number 4.
Giant backside 5. Whoa, Will Calvin from a little further over.
There you
Gets it,
go.
makes an adjustment on the kickflip melon.
2 in a row on those. What
Kickflip.
happens?
Oh, man.
That was it. It was there. It was in your grasp, Trey.
Tail exploded on the coping. Come on,
Roll
buddy.
towards the 9-minute. I thought that was it. I mean,
it was a little bit, he was out a little bit, and if you didn't get the whole tail on the coping, and if you don't get your whole tail on the coping, it could be a bad day.
watch the hang time
Look
right
how
here
big
on that
five.
melon 5. Good Lord.
Made a little adjustment to get the kickflip.
So he's gotten over that hump. The first 2 didn't work out, so now he's made the last 2 on the kickflip melon grab right there. So 60.66 for Trey right there. If he makes that one happen, look out. So again, you need an 85.33 or better to crack into the top 3. Here comes Ronnie Gomez.
Got it. Oh, no, he got bounced off on the landing. Four-wheel, there's a lot of little four-wheel slides happening today where people are getting bumped off balance and couldn't quite recover. I mean, when you're going that fast and you slide all 4 wheels, it's pretty hard to bounce back.
So
Man, the pressure is on a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting down to the wire. This is round 4. We're probably going to get 5, maybe 6. We'll have to see what happens with the time left on the clock right there. Again, with the criteria of what our judges are looking for. Style's important. You want to make it look good. You don't want to make it look mechanical or jerky. The difficulty level of the tricks. Of course, height's a factor. Just some of the things that the judges are going to be talking about in their discussions in that booth.
The speed and power is a lot. There you go.
Speaking
now he makes it look easy.
Speed and power. Watch.
Oh, man.
So you have to give him credit for what he did. He toned it down for that last round because I think he had a 35 and some change. And he said, you know what? I'm going to change this up. I'm just going to get one down to put him in the mid-70s right there. Yeah. That had him in the top 3 for the moment. But then Tom Shar said, no more of that. And he put himself up there. Right now, Italo sitting just outside the top 3 looking in as we get set. Well, Key Curry, you heard it. Teasing rooftop, what we might see. Now it is your time to shine,
I mean, if you can do a body varial 900 and make it look that easy, it's not the craziest thing to. I mean, it is. Kickflip 900, it's not. My brain is going to come out of my eyes if he does it.
I like how he just deadpan looked at rooftop and said, give the public what they want.
900.
Wow.
I mean, just too easy.
And then that gets away from him.
I mean. Honestly, I feel like when you think you're about to try a kickflip 900, maybe you forgot to grab on the 360 flip in.
He's one wall ahead of himself?
I don't know. I don't know what it's like
one
to be
feature
14.
ahead of
I can't
himself?
remember. Unbelievable. All right, Mitchy Brusco. This is...
He's in that number 5 spot. He's got to get rid of that 63.66. It was right there. He's got the tools to do it.
It's so much harder now. Like, Mitchy's a big, full-size guy now. He's a big, tall guy, and when you're that big and you're doing 7s and 900s, it's harder. It's harder to get that spin.
Here we go. Attempt number 4 for Mitchy Brusco. There's
Sticks
67. Puts it
goes,
down.
Setting it up. Backside 9.
Oh, no. Came off on the rotation. He's in better shape now than he was last year. I mean, last year he had to settle for 8th. He had falls on all 6 attempts, so at least now he's in that number 5 spot with time to go here. You got just under 6.5 minutes, so we'll get through this round. We'll definitely get into round 5.
And he is one of those wild cards that he has the skills to win this whole contest. On any given day, he has the tricks.
Yeah, put him into that category we've been talking about with Elliott, where, I mean, you know, when it comes down to that last run, like, those are 2 guys that are well-armed to do it when the pressure's on. We've seen him do it before. They're veterans at this. Speaking of veterans, Tom Shar here put himself in that bronze medal spot the last round.
Oh, 4-wheel slide again.
I like the way that he pokes out the front leg on those, though, just for added style points.
No, to be in a fully nose bone tail grab while doing 2 spins, he makes it look easy, but
they all do. I mean,
I know,
every one
right?
of them on the 7 variations that you're seeing over that first hit, it's like, it's just It's clockwork for all of them.
I love watching Elliot focus right now. Elliot is trying to block out everything and think about one thing and one thing only. Well, 4 things to be specific.
Yeah. 2 features and 2 quarter pipes. Here we go. Can he tune it all out?
Come on.
Down there in the bottom.
Sticks
Tail
it.
grab 7.
Here he goes, sets up. Oh no, missing the flip on the kickflip Indy 5. Oh no. All the pressure in the world he just put on himself. His ramp, he's got the ride. He's done it in practice. He knows he can do it. I believe he will do it. I believe.
He had to settle for silver last year. He's down there at the bottom of the pack for now here in that number 8 spot. But again, going back to the story, I mean, he's done it at the last possible second time and time again. But it's your defending gold medalist from last year, still sitting in that top spot. Only skater to score in the 90s.
Eddie wants this 900. It's not about winning the contest. It's about furthering the sport.
Personal achievement at this point and just lighting this place up.
Solid Indy 7. Kickflip Indy.
Look at that.
Solid again. Kickflip Indy 360. Here he goes. Can he do it?
Onto the last wall right here.
Yeah! Oh! Dude, no. Is he all right?
I mean, that one, he's smiling out of that, but the potential to get whiplashed out of that right there, the way that he came in, how over-rotated he was, and you're over-rotating, and that wants to throw you to your backside and just whack your head off the bottom.
Still, like, he's fine because of how old he is, but I'm 51, and that's a chicken neck right there where I'm not turning left or right for like 6 months after that.
I was just going to use that chicken neck reference, but I didn't think anybody else was going to get it outside of this booth, but there you go.
That is called the chicken neck, ladies and gentlemen. That's a high-speed one, too.
That's when you just go all the way around and you just get whiplashed to the flat bottom with the back of your head.
You save your brain, but you wreck your neck.
And you're just... You're done for a while.
Look at him running back up the stairs.
I know.
Do you know how gnarly it is to over-rotate on a 900 and run up the stairs? Like, the juice is flowing right now.
He just tucked into it and slid out of it like it was no big deal. Like
to be laughing and walking up the stairs, I want it so bad.
We're back up to the top of the orders. We're counting down to 3 minutes left to go here. Trey Wood, backflip, Indy grab again.
Boning it out. Melon 5. Here he goes for the kickflip Melon over the gap. Denied on the catch.
Didn't want to go all the way around. That might be it with under 3 minutes to go. We'll have to see again 8 skaters in the field here, so this may take out the rest of the time on the clock here as we take a look back.
I remember when we did backflips over the gap and every Danny Way, and if you did a backflip, you were a legend. It looks like it's not that hard anymore. I don't know who decided that it wasn't hard anymore.
Someone a while back decided, you know what, that's filler at this
I
point
disagree.
This is your setup wall.
Yeah, people should be screaming. He was upside down, you guys. Why are you not freaking out?
2.5 minutes to go here. Ronnie
Gomez. He's changed it.
Yeah.
View 3. Sorry, Weddle 3. Alley-oop tail grab. Ooh, a little over-rotation.
Yeah, that got scary.
Heel flip frontside in.
Is this the one?
Backwards.
He's got to hang on for one.
Giant frontside cab.
Wow.
Whipped off the back.
Did you see where his front truck was on that coming around?
He was hanging on.
I thought he was going to kick that one away. I mean, that was gutsy to hang on to that one and try to ride that out.
He did not want to let that go.
Oh, man.
See, we're pushing it here. People know that it's their last rides.
Glue shoe. How did you keep that? Watch the front foot here when he lands. Well, you're not going to see it from that camera angle, but coming down the transition, that front foot was wiggling.
Yeah, those are the ones that get your hair standing up.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So we're just under 1:45 to go, so it looks like this is going to eat up the rest of the clock. We'll see. So he'll end up with a 50.66. So that is going to keep him in that number 7 spot. With 1:20 and some change to go here in Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. Edward Damastoy sitting in that top spot for now. Italo Penarubia, your bronze medalist from 2022, now finds himself 1 spot on the outside looking in, with potentially this being the last chance to try to jump back into that top 3 as we hit the 1 minute mark.
Body Barrel 3.
Loose truck saved lives on that one.
Oh, no!
You gotta be kidding me! Are you absolutely kidding me?
What?
You want to talk about making
something? What did you do? That's not it.
That is not what he wanted to have happen.
That's not it.
But you want to talk about sheer will and determination to make something happen?
You can name that. You can call it whatever you want. That's a new trick. That's all you. I would call it the axe murderer. It looked like he threw an axe at your feet. What just happened? He did not just.
Oh, that was
Dude!
That was Dora Varela,
Dude,
by the way. Over there talking to Italo after that run. We'll see her in women's skate vert later on this week. Oh, look at, I mean, that, right here.
Oh,
Come on.
No! Oh! Dude, you just threw a what?
Oh, and it's only good enough for a 68.33
What do you
after
mean?
all that. He's going to have to stick with that 75. But I mean,
You won to me. You're the winner. You won.
You've won over the hearts and minds of Jason Ellis
What?
and everyone here in Elliot
What's
Sloan's
that?
backyard.
Dude,
He's going to come over and tell you about it. You're a madman. That's the beauty of having the booth right here at the top of the quarter pipe. You can just lean over and just start having conversations
He
with
just
people. at the
said,
end of the night.
whatever, I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, here we go.
Wait,
with
there's more.
Keith Curry. Yeah, we're not done yet.
Oh,
After all that.
Okay, Indy 7 into a 900. This contest is
It's out of control.
360 kickflip Indy.
Okay, here we
Here
go.
it
Is
goes.
the kid going to deliver?
Oh!
He
Yes.
said he was going to give the people what they want.
It was only a half flip, but he looked like if it was a full flip, he would have put it on.
Oh,
Wow.
give the public what they want,
Man,
sir.
he
and
did not. I
tried.
still can't get it. He just,
I know. I still want to go back and look at replays of
he just did
Italo.
a 15-foot frontside Christ there or something.
Watch how he just speeds up the rotation of the 9 and he alley-oops it a little bit as well. Oh,
Kids, man.
that's 14 years old these days at the X Games. That's what 14 looks like at the X Games.
Yeah, that's not fair is what that is. All right,
Oh,
Mitchie.
here we go. Time to shine for Mitchie Brusco.
All the pressure.
He's delivered in the past. He's sitting in that 5th spot with a 63.66.
This guy knows how to get medals. He's got 13 of them. He knows what he's doing.
2 gold, 4 silver, 7 bronze, spread out between Big Air, Vert, and Vert Best Trick in 17 X Games appearances. Time has run out, so once we get through the run order, this will be it. We'll see if Mitchie Brusco can deliver on run 5.
60 Indy 7. Got it. Got the backside 9. Monster one. Oh, man, going for a kickflip melon 3 over the gap. I mean, when you're trying to do tricks that hard, this is going to happen.
You could hear it in his reaction. You just hear him on the flat bottom. He looked up at everybody and said, I was right there.
Yeah. Perfect Indy 7.
Winded up perfectly on the 7. So that's going to leave him in that number 5 spot with only 3 skaters left to go in the lineup. And of those 3, only one of them is on the outside looking in. Tom Shar sits on that bubble right now, looking at a potential bronze medal here on his 5th attempt.
Sticks to the tail grab 7. Kickflip. Alley-oop, man. It doesn't.
The point where he tried to put that on his feet is insane. It's right at the coping.
I feel like I just realized I was getting used to people doing tail grab 720s. I should not be used to that.
That's become the norm.
That doesn't. Well, it's not. It's not.
It's been the setup.
I can't do that.
It
Come on,
comes down to
Elliot!
this gentleman.
You got it, dude.
He was your silver medalist last year. He was your host the last 2 years. He finds himself down there in that number 8 spot with one last run to go here for Elliot Sloan.
Got it. Tail grab 7.
Into the first quarter.
Oh, no. Missed the flip on the kickflip Indy 5. This is the game. I mean, he's asking me. I'm not in charge. I can't call it. I say that you guys should do 12 rides, but I'm going to get in trouble.
Is Guy pandering to you? He's looking to you.
Yeah, he
to be the
definitely
voice
looked
of
at me.
reason if you gets another run.
Because
I like his approach.
I'll
Let's go
stay
straight
here
to
all
the
night,
TV
dude, if you want to
announcers.
keep going.
Yeah, does Elliot have
Yeah.
lights? What do the neighbors think about that? I mean, you got to talk about the pressure. I mean, to come out here and to try to deliver. I mean, we've seen Elliot do that time and time again when it comes down to the last run, but He was your silver medalist last year, and it now comes down to a glory run here.
But this is not a glory run that involves a 900.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He knows it's not about the contest anymore.
He's not going to mail this one in.
He wants that 9.
Yeah.
We want that 9. That's the crazy thing about skateboarding. Everybody here wants him to make that, even the people that are in the contest with him.
This one's not about a gold medal anymore. This is about personal achievement and just sending it for everyone here.
Oh, man.
Indy 7 does him in right there, and that is going to do it right there for Edouard Damastori and Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark. How about the run that he's on right now?
I mean, the power, the style, the technique, the choice of tricks. He really is the man to beat right now.
That is his 3rd X Games gold medal. He got MegaPark gold here last year. He got Vert gold at X Games Japan back in May, and now he's doubled up on the MegaPark gold medals here at Sloan Yard.
His eyes seem more friendly now. Like if I was Rooftop, I would talk to him, but not before.
He had to give everybody the mean mug stare.
It was working. You know? This is what it takes to win. There's a gigantic rodeo, kickflip, Indy 540, 7s. All you need.
Just another day at the office to take home his 2nd ever MegaPark X Games gold medal. 3rd gold medal overall, but what a performance by that gentleman right there. And he's still got Vert and Vert Best Tricks still to come later on in the week as well. So right now, let's send it down to Rooftop, who's with our winner.
Let's go.
Another gold medal. Look at you. How's it feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good. I worked hard to do this run. Was here weeks before, thanks to Elliot. Always open his house. I'm very happy that I did my run. Today was my day. I could do it. And I want to do a shout out to Elliot because he's been pushing it. We skated together. We were pushing each other a lot. So if I was able to skate like this today, it's also because of him. I wish you guys could see what he was getting ready to do because he was bangers too. So today I made it. I'm very happy. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I
guy, right?
can't even process thought right now with everything that we saw tonight and how everyone's skating. I mean, we're seeing 720s that are coming in right out of the gate as setup tricks right now. I mean, the 900s, the regularity that we saw Guy putting down those 900s, and then the runs that Edouard put down. I mean, your final thoughts?
I'm just impressed by all skateboarding and how it's progressed. It's every year we push it. We make new things that I never thought were possible. Every year somebody blows my mind again.
Well, Tom Shar walks out of here with the bronze. That's his 10th X Games medal overall. Guy Curry taking home the silver here. His 7th total medal, but it's Edouard Damastori taking home his 3rd ever X Games gold, and that makes 2 in a row here in Monster Energy Skateboard MegaPark.